falling in love with someone who wasn't ready. Falling in love is one of the most wonderful experiences a person can have. It's exciting, it's transformative, and it makes everything feel new again. But what happens when you fall for someone who isn't ready to love you back? What happens when your heart races, but theirs stays still? It's one of the most painful experiences I've ever been through, but it taught me something I'll never forget. I met him at a time in my life when I wasn't expecting to find love. I was busy, focused on my career, and wasn't really looking for a relationship. But then, there he was. It started innocently enough, just casual conversations at work, sharing lunch breaks, talking about the little things in life. He had this way about him, this quiet charm that drew me in without me even realizing it. At first, it wasn't anything more than friendship, but as time passed, I found myself thinking about him more and more. His smile, the way he laughed, the way he seemed to understand me in a way no one else did. And I couldn't deny it. I was falling for him. The problem was he wasn't ready to fall for me. He had his own struggles, his own fears, his own baggage that he was dealing with at. He made it clear that he wasn't looking for anything serious, that he didn't have the space in his life for a relationship. And for a while, I accepted that. I told myself I was fine with it, that I could be content just being friends, just being there for him in whatever way he needed. But the thing is, when you fall in love with someone, you don't have control over it. You can't just turn your feelings off, no matter how hard you try. And the more time we spent together, the more I realized how deep my feelings for him were. I wanted to be with him. I wanted to share my life with him. And it hurt knowing that he wasn't ready for any of that. I tried to keep my distance, tried to protect myself from the pain, but it didn't work. I couldn't stop thinking about him. Couldn't stop wanting him. It was like my heart was already there, even though his wasn't. And that's when the struggle began. I knew I had to let him go, to stop hoping that he would change, that he would suddenly be ready to love me back. But the problem was, I didn't want to let go. I didn't want to accept that sometimes. Love isn't enough to make someone ready. Sometimes, they have to be ready on their own, in their own time, and there's nothing you can do to speed up the process. And so, I stayed. I stayed because I loved him, and I thought that maybe, just maybe, he would eventually come around. But the more I stayed, the more I realized that I was only hurting myself. I was giving him more than he could give me, and I was holding on to something that wasn't there. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy to watch him go on with his life, to see him with other people, to see him find peace in places I couldn't reach. But I had to let him go, for both of us. I had to stop waiting for him to be ready, and start accepting that sometimes love isn't enough to make someone change. Sometimes it's just about waiting for the right time, for them to be ready on their own terms. And in the end, I learned that sometimes falling in love with someone who isn't ready is a lesson in patience and self-love. It's a reminder that you can't force someone to love you, no matter how much you want it. You can't make them ready, and you can't carry their emotional baggage for them. You can only love them from where they are, and hope that they find their way to you when the time is right. It's a painful lesson, but it's also a freeing one, because when you let go of someone who isn't ready, you make space for the person who is. You make space for the love that's meant to be. The love that will show up when both of you are ready to give it your all. I'm Lucy, and this is Unsaid Love.